Baby, you're a stitch man. Baby, you're a stitch man. Baby, you're a stitch man. Duh. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, hey there, Flosstube friends and enemies. You know who you are. Actually, I think some of you probably don't know who you are. Some of you probably think that you fall into one category or the other, and you're wrong about that. Chew on that. It's me, your old pal Stitch Man, back for another video. It's not 2 a.m. this time. I'm a little bit brighter. I'm a little bit happier. I'm not dwelling in the trenches of the nether regions of the earth anymore. I mean, I am, but at least there's daylight now. Oh look, and Maple's in the window. Hi, Maple. So I won't bore you or dwell on this too much before I get to the stitching that you're all here for. You're not here for me, right? Or are you here for me? You're here for me. Come on, you're here for me. I'm here for me. Yes, you may have guessed from my last video, which I thought I was being subtle and vague about it, but apparently not, because most of you knew exactly what I was talking about. I won't dwell on this too much, but I'll give you just a quick update. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. Stitch Lady Melissa and I are no longer together. Oh, bombshell. I'll give you a minute to let that one sink in. Let's watch a monkey bathing a cat. Yes, it's true. It hasn't been the easiest summer. I was going through it when I made my last video. I'm not, forget even just like that it's not, you know, a fun thing to go through, obviously, but I in particular am not good with even small changes, let alone really, really big turmoil type changes. So I was not having the easiest time for a little while. But we've settled into a new, a new routine, a new, we've each got Dylan half the time. Everybody's got a new routine. The kids are in school. Everything's pleasant. We still get along really well. I've turned this little basement dungeon into my temporary man cave until I figure out what else is going on. It's cozy. It's good. The sun is shining. I'm smiling. I've lost 10 pounds. I'm feeling better. Let's have a good time, right? Let's just have a good time. I'm ready for a good time. Speaking of ready for a good time, hey, you know what that means? Ladies, the old Stitch Man is on the market again. Is he? I don't know if he actually is, but he's sitting here in the basement all by himself. That's me. Sitting here in the basement all by myself, ready to be snatched up. My inbox is probably full right now, right? You can't even wait. You're gonna be stepping over each other, getting quick, right? And I know what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, Stitch Man, don't you already have a harem of lady followers who just fawn over you and step over themselves to get near you? Yes, I do. But most of them do incredibly ridiculous things, like, say, I don't know, live in England or have husbands. Come on. What are you doing? All right, so that's it. You're completely up to speed from basically my entire summer right up until now. I've had, between hanging out with Dylan and working, sleeping, and going to like craft markets and getting ready for that, there's Dylan, there's sleeping. Between those three things, I like, not basically, literally have no time for anything else. I'm doing one of those things at all times. Hanging out with Dylan, stitching or working on Stitch stuff, sleeping. That's it. That's why I've lost 10 pounds. I don't even eat anymore. So let's get to it then. What are we waiting for? What are we dwelling on? What are we dwelling on sadness for? Nobody's sad. Look how bright and shiny and mapley it is outside. Hey, Maple, I'm smiling. Let's have a good time. Let's get to the Stitch stuff. Let's see what I've been doing. That's why we're here, right? To see what I've been doing? Right?
That's right. That's right.
Let's... Sorry. I also feel like I'm getting a little bit sick, so yeah, I'll try not to cough all over you. Yes, I could edit it out if I do that, but I'm not going to. I'll just leave them in. Like I said, ladies, this could all be yours. Let's start not with things that I've actually done, but with things that I want to do, because that's really why we're here, not to see things in real life that are actually being done, but to use our imaginations. It's really a philosophy class more than anything else. So let's get started with that. I've been so busy. I'm not complaining about this, by the way. And I already sound, I'm not even full of, I haven't even completed a sentence yet. And I already sound like I'm complaining. I'm not, I've been so busy with the craft season and the craft markets and stuff like that. And like wanting to, when I have a model stitched of my own things that I'm selling kits of, having the model really does help sell the kits. So it's basically taken all my time since my last video to just be working on my own things, which I know that's what you're here for, right? None of you are like, well, fuck this, then I'm clicking away and I'm gonna go watch what, Dr. Phil? Dr. Phil, what the fuck? But I've been jonesing for things other than my own stuff. And like, yes, in the next month or so, I still might have to focus on me for a little bit while, but I have plans to do things other than me. I've actually been, believe it or not, in the mood to stitch some Jacob things. Yes, my mortal enemy. Yes, he does nice things, and yes, I want to stitch some of his things, and I've got some lined up to potentially start working on in the near future, and that's what we're going to talk about first. Woo! You following all this? So I started this one last year? Question mark. And I started it on a plain old fabric before I started dyeing my own fabrics or getting into linens or like anything other like fancy or whatever. And there was nothing wrong with it. It was fine. I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to continue. But I do like this, and I want to restart it and do it again. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't what? I wasn't quite sure. I want to do this on one of my own fabrics so that Jacob and I can be immortalized together forever. He'll love that. I wasn't really sure which one I was going to use. And then I realized I have this pile set aside that is like, why am I still holding that? I have this pile of stuff that is basically like my discard pile. It's not garbage. Like I don't feel like it's worth like tossing, but I don't sell them. I haven't used them for anything. It's kind of just the like accidental pile of like, this didn't turn out right, or I don't know what to do with this kind of thing. And I dug through that recently and I found one in there that I was like, why is this in the discard pile? I really like this. Hang on a second. This was in my, oh look, you can see right through it. Hi Maple. Woo. Maple. This was in my discarded pile of discards, and I'm not sure why. I like this. It's like it's a, I don't know if it's translating well here in my dungeon, but it's like a dark charcoal gray and sort of like accented with red-ish. Scarlet, I think it is. And it sort of blends together as like, dark red and dark gray. And I had this kind of just tossed aside, not being used for anything, not being sold, not being anything, just sort of sitting there going like, hey, Stitch Man, how come you're not using me for anything? Why do you hate me? And I think that this, given the right circumstances and the right floss choices, might look quite good on this. What do you think? I hope that you think, yes, it will, because that's what I'm going to do, regardless of really what you think. So why am I asking you what you think? That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it all monochrome. I'm going to pick at least a couple of different colors. I haven't really decided what I'm going to exactly do, but I'm going to do this on this, and Jacob and I will be immortalized together forever. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? How's that for a discard? The other thing I want to do, speaking of Jacob, is another Jacob thing. The old Jacob 2020, the new Jacob 2025 stitch along. I'm sure some of you have already started this. Some of you may have already finished it. Let's not tell Jacob that it's not even 2025 yet. He's supposed to release this in 2025 if you want to stitch it in 2025. He was born in the 1970s. Let's give him a break. He's getting a little old. This one I may have actually started by now to show you. But I didn't, because this is a little bit more of a struggle of, again, I want to stitch this on one of my own fabrics, but I don't know which one. I don't know. What do you think this would look good on? Like, even just in general, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go through my fabrics and like, you know, this would look, but like, what do you think this would look good on? I've got a few options here. I do like this one that I do called Gray Expectations, but I've done a few things on this already, and I don't know. It's enough already, I think. I kind of want to do something else, unless I can't think of anything else that would look as good as this. I feel like there's something better though. This also, I love. This is one of my favorite ones to stitch on that I do, Tangled Up in Blue. But again, because I love it so much, I've stitched a lot of things on this, and I don't really know that this is a blue looking. I don't know. Help. This one I also love, and it's kind of like a fall sort of, and like a lot of you have been buying this. It's been hard for me to even keep up with it now that it's like, you know, orangey pumpkin season. But I've stitched on this recently, and I really like stitching on it. But again, does this go with this? And like, I know like it doesn't have to be red either. Like orange on red might not look good, but something on orange might look good. Or I don't know. Is that the right mood? Orange? I don't know. I think maybe not. And this, this is one of my favorite ones that I have done recently. A History of Violets for the movie fans among us out there. David Cronenberg, our greatest Canadian filmmaker. Anybody? So I love this, and I want to use it for something, and I haven't used it for anything yet. Would this be good for this with any sort of combination of colors, or what goes with purple? What would look good on purple? Would this look good on this? Is this a purpley? Does this give you a purple mood when you look at this? I don't know. And then there's this, which is kind of the one, even though it's the most like bland-ish. Not bland. Bland is the wrong word. I don't do bland things. But this one I call this one True Grit. Again, for the movie fans out there, it's not a pun or anything. It's just true, and it's gritty, and it's either John Wayne or Jeff Bridges, whichever you prefer. Dude, the dude abides. So I think that this and this, like my gut instinct feels like these could go together well. I could find something, even a red maybe, that would look good on this, that would set the mood for this, that would look good. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I don't know. I'm also I love bright, fun things, so I'm kind of torn. I don't really know. I need some floss options for each one to really like. One of them will just feel right. Nothing has quite felt right yet, except maybe this, but I don't even have like a floss to go with it yet. So I don't know. I'm not sure. And it doesn't even have to be a pre-existing, you know, one of these. I could just be like, hey, that would look good on like, you know, dark blue and pink, or so. I don't know. Like I can do other things if I just had like the vision to see what this would look good on. I think it would look good hanging above my toilet. What do you think? That's a good spot for it.
That's right. That's right.
So I've got a lot of like upcoming Halloween themed and Christmas themed markets coming up, and I've been trying to do what I can for either one or both of them, so I don't just have bringing the same stuff to every single market and people just keep coming and seeing the same stuff again, which is kind of hard because like it's not so easy to do something, just whip it up and like, you know, you're happy with it and it's out there in the world and I've got my name on it and all that kind of stuff. It has to be good, but you know, that can take some time. I don't have a lot of time. I don't have time. But I did whip this one up that I'm happy with, cautiously happy with. I started this one last year and I wasn't really happy with it. I picked it up again this year and finished it off to the point where I do believe that I'm happy with it. The old Home Alone, keep the change, you filthy animal.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Mom!
I mean, I'm happy with it. I like it. It's up in my shop. Like you can buy it. Like I'm happy with it enough to like put it out in the world and put my name on it. It's just the computer generated version of it that spits out here is never quite as good as what the real thing actually looks like. So I know when I have the real thing, I'm gonna like it a lot better. I just haven't had time to do it yet or to even start it. But I've got a piece of fabric picked out. Look, here's my greenback boogie. I'm gonna stitch it on this, and look, you can already see. Look, here's what it's gonna look like on green, says AI. But this is the green it's actually gonna be stitched on, and you can see. Come on, that's gonna look 10 times better. That's gonna look really good when it's all done. I just haven't quite gotten around to starting it yet, but hopefully this will be started and finished before the real Christmas season kicks in, and people will buy it, and I'll be able to retire a millionaire, because a million people are gonna buy this, right? So that is all the imagination that you're going to need to imagine what stuff is eventually going to look like. Now you can actually, we're going to jump in and actually see what things actually do look like. So the one that I've been currently working on, and yes, it's all my own stuff. I'm not saying that in an apologetic kind of a way. I have to admit, I love stitching my own things. It's a much different experience than just buying something that somebody else did and stitching it. Like doing it myself and designing it and doing the pattern and fussing over it, and then like it prints off as like a real pattern, and like I've got a piece of fabric and floss and I'm stitching it. It's awesome. I love it. I used to make fun of Jacob because he only ever stitched his own things. I get it. I understand. I only want to stitch my own things too. So this is the one that I've been currently working on. This little Mr. Meowington here. Again, like this is the computer AI version of like, here's what it's going to look like, which looks really good, like good enough that like it's accurate, but like not accurate enough that seeing it in real life does make a big difference. So let's see what it looks like. This is what I've got so far. This is how far I've got. Miss Meowington Caddington. What do you think? Doesn't she look, I mean, she looks pretty much the same, but you can see how much better. Can you? Can you see? You can see how much better real life is, especially on like when you choose the fabric and like it's just different. You need a model. I wish I could pause time for a year or two so I could like have these all done and like not have aged at all. As for stuff that I have worked on and actually finished, now here comes a little bit of a parade because I've actually finished quite a few things. I'll start with the only one that I finished it, but I haven't framed it yet, which is this Merry Christmas right here, which I'm very happy with. What do you think? Merry Christmas? Huh? This was, again, one of those ones where like I struggled to get it. It changes the entire mood and feeling of the thing depending on which fabric you stitch it on. Like that was never really like that much of a stress for me before, but it is now. I didn't know what to do this on, but I've got this yellow that I really, really like that I've never stitched anything on before, and I've been dying to like, find something. What am I going to use my yellow for? So I used my yellow for this, and I think I made a pretty good choice because I'm very happy with it. And once I frame it, it's going to look even better. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Are you excited? Here's another little Christmassy thing that I started and finished called Owl'll Be Home for Christmas. Huh? What do you think of that? I do love a really good horrible pun. And I was brainstorming with our old buddy Chris Crossstitch with, I need some owl puns to like come up with a really bad dad joke like title for this. This isn't like as dad jokey or as punny as it could have been. I'm happy enough with it that it's like it gets like a kind of an eye roll and a chuckle, but like the one that I like really gravitated towards was It's a Wonder Foul Life. I almost called it that, but I don't know. I overthink it a little bit. Overthink it. Some people, when I ran It's a Wonder Foul Life past them, as much of like I got the reaction that I wanted with the like, polite chuckle but really eye roll, like, oh my god, you're not actually going to call it that, are you? Which is exactly what I was going for. But the foul part, like it seemed more like foul, like a different kind of bird than owl, and it was confusing people. And like if you have to think about it that much, if you have to think about it beyond just like single brain cell, then it's probably not right. So I went with Owl'll Be Home for Christmas. but in my heart it'll always be It's a Wonder Foul Life.
That's right. That's right.
And here's what it looks like all done. Isn't it cute? These little ditties, these little quick ones that you can do in a day or two at the craft markets that I have been selling stuff at. These are really pretty easy sells for people who are kind of on the fence about, like, I used to stitch and maybe I'll get back into it, or I kind of know what it is and I've been interested to try it, but like I'm not really sure. Stuff like this is, I can push them over the edge with stuff like this usually pretty easily. And when they get it and they do it and they realize how much they like it, they, you know, you come back for more, come back and do something bigger, which has happened. That has actually happened already. People have bought little things and then come back for bigger things. It's not just about me, like, you know, stuffing my wallet full of $20 bills. It's about spreading the joy of stitching amongst the people of the world. I've already gone international, and now I need to take over my local area. Let's all be stitchers, and let's all and let's all what? Be joyful and stitchy. And my God, I have had way too much coffee. I can't even, like, do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like my owl? I drank my coffee in a Mickey Mouse mug. Oh, hello. A few of the other things that I finished, I was working on this in my, oh, what the hell? I think I spilled coffee on this. I was working on this in my last video. It wasn't quite finished yet, and now it's finished, and now it's framed. I feel also, like, a side note, to toot my own horn here, I've become quite the little framer. All of these things that I'm showing you and all of the things that I've got displayed on my stall, I framed all these myself, which at first was very clunky, but I feel like I've gotten quite good at it. If I'm honest on myself, why would I pay somebody $300 to do something that I can do even better than they can? This one, my Edgar Allan Poe quote, which reads, in case you can't read it, I became insane with long intervals of horrible sanity. People have been enjoying this one. Another one of those ones that gets people into, like, you know, give it a try. You like the quote? You want it hanging on your wall? You know, you'd rather pay me for it, but as I tell people, my whole display is a display of what could be if you want to do the work yourself. I'm not doing it for you. These are not for sale. And that, believe it or not, that little spiel of if you want to do the work yourself, this could all be yours, that actually works pretty well. People enjoy, more than you might think, the idea of trying something new and having the satisfaction of knowing that they did it themselves instead of hanging something else that somebody else did on their wall. People seem to actually like that. Whether or not they're actually doing them when they take them home or not, I don't know, but they are buying them. Cha-ching, motherfucker! Another one of the smallish, medium-ish sized ones that I whipped up for Halloween, you know, because it is kind of like fall Halloween-y type season. I've got a couple of actual Halloween markets coming up, and I wanted an excuse to use my orange fabric for something, so I whipped this little drippy little scary pumpkin face up, and I stitched him and I framed him, and this is what he looks like. Mr. Smiley Face. What do you think? I think he turned out pretty good. Don't you? I think so. Yeah, Stitch Man. He turned out great. We love you. I can just hear you now. Another one, I don't remember if I mean, I could check this pretty easily, but I'm not going to. I don't remember if I was finished this, if I was still working on this, or if you've already seen this in my last video or not, but I'm going to show you again. Bouncing back and forth between fall, Halloween, and Christmas. You know, I can't help but sprinkle some Christmas things. You know, I love Christmas. I stitched up my old, I'll have a blue Christmas without you. What is the glare here? Hey, it's what you get when you live in a dungeon. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I love it. Stitched on blue with blue floss all around. It's fun to do. I like it. I like it a lot. Do you like it? And look at the professional frame job on that. Wow. You'd be like, oh my God, Stitch Man, where did you take that? Look, it's not a wrinkle in sight. It's all nice and matted. It's all nice and stretched. Where did you take that, Stitch Man? Did they charge you $500? Nope. That's all me, baby. That's all me. Speaking of all me, one of my more popular ones that you guys have seemed to really like and have purchased a lot of, and is one of my most popular ones also in person, is this guy right here, which has been done for a while, but I had this kind of slapped in just like a cheap little frame just to have it in something. And especially now that I know a little bit better what I'm doing and I'm a little bit better at it, it deserves something better. So I popped it out of there. I chucked that cheap shit right in the garbage. And I got this. And I matted it, and I stretched it, and I framed it, and I gave it the care and attention it deserved. And I think it looks much better, don't you? I think so. We love you, Stitchman. We knew you were a good designer. We knew you were a good stitcher. We knew you were a good fabric dyer. We knew you were the funniest guy ever, but we didn't also know you were a good framer. Oh, what? This whole thing? Oh, stop it, ladies. So I think that's all I've got for things that I've been working on, things that I am working on, and things that I want to work on for the moment. Admittedly, I am for the next at least month or so. I'm going to still have to be focused on like model stitching my own things, but I am going to get back into, like, I do want to do those Jacob things. I'm so close to finishing Chessie. Like, that needs to be a top priority. I've got a basket full of, whips and stitching stuff that when I moved into my little cave here, I kind of just threw everything in one big basket and haven't really organized it yet. So I've got to go through that and like really like sit down in the new year and like evaluate what is it, what do I really want to be doing, and what do I actually want to be working on. I need to rethink. So I know I've said that. I've probably said that 1,000 times already, but I feel like I mean it this time. I've also been busy dyeing fabrics, and you guys have been buying lots of them, and thank you very much. This one especially in like the September month, my Clockwork Orange here has been hard to keep up with because you've been purchasing a lot of these, which is great. Thank you very much. I like, and it's good. I personally can guarantee it. I've stitched on it and I enjoyed it, and it's pretty, and no matter which one of these you get, you're gonna love it. So get it while the getting's good, because these ones are going quick, and it's hard for me to keep up with these. And if orange isn't your thing and you want some like something else that's a little bit pretty, I've also got all these pretty colors that I regularly do, and some others that I sometimes do that will pop up occasionally, but these ones are pretty standard. I've sort of settled into a list of what I like to do and what people like to buy, and this is the list that has meshed pretty well with both of those criteria. So these ones tend to always be there, and I really like them, and I like doing it, and they're so pretty, and I like when they're all like lined up like this, and you can just see them, like how nice and how pretty they are, and like they're so nice. I like them. This has come up before, and it's come up again recently. People asking me if I would do some sort of like tutorial video to show you how I do this or how you can do it. And I've been a little bit resistant to that because if I show you what to do, then what do you need me for? What am I going to put here? Here's my 10. I'll title it in how to kill a business in 10 minutes. Why would you need me to do it if I'm going to show you how to do it? That's why I resist doing that. But I've been sort of like convinced somewhat, at least like, argued towards, and like, I'm coming around to the fact that like just because I show you how to do it doesn't necessarily mean that you're all going to take the time to like always do it. It's still more convenient to get it yourself. This is a lot of work and a lot of time, and a lot of people don't have the time or the time to do it, or the desire to do it, or maybe you want to try it once with a color that I don't do, or that you haven't found anywhere, or whatever. Like there are lots of reasons why it wouldn't be such a bad thing to show you how to do it, right? As long as you're not going to be dicks about it. You're still going to buy my stuff, right, if I do that? So I think I have come around to the tutorial side of things. That might be my next video before I make a real floss tube. I might do a 10-15 minute video, pick one of these, show you how to do it. That's what Bob Ross did. Bob Ross wasn't so concerned with like, I'm not going to show you what to do because I want you to buy my stuff. He showed you exactly what to do at every step of the way, and he still did all right. So I think I'll be okay. So I think watch out for that I might actually blow the lid off this whole operation and show you what to do in case you wanted to try it yourself sometime. I'm nervous about it. And I think with that, I think that'll be it for now. I hope this was a little bit better and cheerier than last time. I feel a lot better. I've been feeling a lot better. It's nicer to do this in the daytime than it is to do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I feel good. I feel jolly. I feel happy. I'm wearing a sweater and I'm not sweating to death. Christmas is coming. The ladies are just flooding my inbox, right? I better go check on that. It's been fun. There's been a lot of fun things happening. Going to the market is fun. Dyeing the fabric is fun. Everything's fun. Driving down the street, down the highway, and accidentally shitting my pants. That was fun. I'll tell you about that sometime. You're going to want to hear that story, right? And like I said, ladies, this could all be yours. So I think that's it for now. I think we'll say goodbye for now. Stay tuned for a probable, possible, let's say 90% chance. The 90% chance of an upcoming fabric dyeing tutorial video. Hopefully I'll try to come back with at least one more floss tube before Christmas. I don't want to make any bold promises about I'll be back every 2 weeks from now on. You know I won't be. But at least one more before Christmas, I would hope, besides the dyeing one. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all the buying of the things. You can buy all the things still. They're all still there. All the charts that I showed you and all the fabric that I showed you. Little drop down box below. All you got to do is click. You know, it's Visa's money. You pay for it in January. Treat yourself. It's Christmas. So until then, until next time, keep smiling, keep shitting your pants, keep stitching, and I'll see you later.